What's up, my movers and shakers? I'm Dave, this is MS Paints, and this is my new studio. Firstly, before we move on into me building the studio, I want to thank all the awesome people on Patreon who have helped this dream come alive. That was really cheesy. That sounded really wank. I'm sorry, guys. So at the time of making this, I've got 5,000 subscribers, and you're potentially thinking, well, why the f did you go for a new studio dedicated space? Well, there's quite a few reasons. Principally, my company and the paint studio existed in the same room, which wasn't ergonomically viable. Every time we have a client over to discuss a video or a marketing project, there's me in the corner covered in plaster, throwing plaster around. They're breathing the plaster and I'm breathing the plaster and everybody's huffing plaster. It ain't great. And also digging through this stuff while I've moved it all from the attic, 3 flights of stairs in 32 degrees heat, I will point out, I've found so much stuff and so many materials that I forgot I had. And I'll be honest, there are piles of shame and mountains of opportunity, whatever you want to call them, and there are piles of shame. And somehow, even though it was contained to a corner in an attic room, it has filled a lot of this room. Another reason is that 32, 35 degrees I mentioned, that is not good working heat for MS. Pretty much in the height of summer in an attic room, my MS is almost, it's not in full swing, but the symptoms come back big time. And when it comes to painting or like precision work, no chance. Pretty much spend 3 months of the year getting headaches, having the shakes, and just not having a great time at all. The basement is nice and cool, so that's a bonus. And as I mentioned at the start, this room was made possible by the awesome folks on the MS Paints Patreon. It's a sweet little community that we've got. Everyone's kind of constructive, everyone helps each other out, everyone shares their work, everyone has advice to give everyone else. Everyone is learning, everyone always learning, good for the brain. I should probably finish this bastard of a studio. Jabel. So, like I said, I am drowning in gear down here. We are talking childhood Warhammer, new Warhammer, old Warhammer, new old Warhammer, rip-off, bizarre, weird Warhammer. Dioramas, half-finished dioramas, half-finished project ideas, board games, gateway games, box sets. It's all visible and all in the room, and now that I can see it all, I am shitting a pasty about it all. Everywhere I look, it's like, oh, there's an idea I had. Oh, look, there's another idea I had. And now that I have it all out and I can see what's what, I can hopefully execute those ideas. Also have this ancient sea chest, which I think is my great-great-granddad's. I'm not entirely sure. I cut myself on it about 8 times getting this bastard down the stairs, so I can only assume my great-great-granddad had a few bouts with tetanus in his time. We're also refurbing the edit suite upstairs, so the carpets are coming up, new carpet down, repainting everything, which means all the film kit that is normally up there is now crammed down here with me. Audio gear too. The big elephant in the room for me at the minute is, well, it's this. It's a 27-inch Sony Trinitron, and I do love me a 27-inch Sony Trinitron. However, I absolutely do not like moving 27-inch Sony Trinitrons. Once I've moved King Mabel out of the way, there's this beautiful 3-meter long slab of wood table underneath. I'm raising it about 5 inches above average desk height for my painting needs, but I'm gonna need some help with this.
What are you doing? Anyways, it's a chimpanzee called Francine. Funniest thing I ever seen.
The condition was that if you came down here to help, you had to help, which is a weird condition, but you are completely...
What are you talking about? I am helping.
Oh, try pushing the table, then go on. Give the table a push.
Alright.
Nope. Like, actually put your back into it, though.
Now, we ain't moving this. You're gonna have to get a professional remover man or something to do that.
You know, for all your pomp and talk, you're actually completely trash at anything.
Even if I put my back against the wall. See what I'm talking about? Well, that's fine. I think it looks good where it is anyway, huh?
Move the table.
That's what's cool with the kids these days. It's all weird angles.
So I'm not interested in what you think the kids are into. I want this table against the wall, and frankly, you're trying to push it in the opposite direction.
That's so good, I don't care.
You're trying to push away. It needs... Why are you even there?
I am pushing. I'm pushing as hard as I can. What do you want from me? Huh? What do you want from me? I'm pushing. I'm pushing. Shut your ass.
Don't start getting sassy. I need to build a studio. You're in the way. Go on. Off. shelving time. And these are cheap and cheerful picture shelves from B&M Bargains, which is like the UK's answer to a Poundland IKEA, I guess. And I got the idea from Jeremy over at Blackmagic Craft. He's made his own out of wood, but I saw these and they look pretty much the same, and that's awesome for me. Now, I have no idea whether GW have suddenly discontinued these, but from the social posts I've done, these are getting a lot of heat, and it seems they aren't available to everyone, which is odd. Distinctly uncharacteristic of Games Workshop, these paint racks aren't covered in skulls or resembling medieval fortresses. They're just really cool honeycomb looking things that look appealing in decoration as much as they are functional. Thanks GW, I would like to say you haven't surprised me with that. I'm getting as many shelf type things on the wall as I can and filing stuff away into little corners and squirreling shit here and there just to keep things off the table and the work surface. If anything I've learned over the last couple of years of doing a hobby with MS, it's the less stuff that is in my way to get broken, less stuff gets broken. With that in mind, there's not actually that many spaces left for me to display my business, which means I may have to put up some shelves elsewhere in the building to accommodate finished items, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm all about tasty lighting, most importantly, lighting that actually helps me see things better. My eyesight ain't great no more, and nice little spotlights, nice little bit of tungsten, nice balance. I'm still finding all kinds of random shit as I go. There's a big old random box of orcs, a load of dead twigs that I found by the riverside I brought home, and a poster for a movie that I did the original score to about 3 years ago. Check that out on Amazon Prime if you care. My childhood bits box, apart from a Star Wars Legion base, it's basically untouched. And if you hear from my recent nostalgia video, well, here's some hardcore weaponized nostalgia for you. Corporal Hicks, mint on card. I bought that and these sealed Star Trek CCG booster boxes from an actual witch in a basement in Whitby, so there's a story. And my cat's laser turret, which I'm planning on turning into a tower defense turret. If you haven't met my cat yet, here's my cat. I love him, but he's a total twat. Speaking of project ideas that have been unearthed in this process, here's a Millennium Falcon that I'm going to convert into Star Wars Legion terrain at some point. And the awesome Viv at Knights of Dice sent these over. I'm going to make a Outer Worlds themed spaceport skirmish board out of them at some point. Can't wait. Thing to really do is to get these paints sorted out and put into their racks and on the wall. I'm not much of a paint whore. I say not much. I've got the majority of the Citadel range because for me and my money, that's probably the best all-rounder set of paints. I've got my inks from Green Stuff and Vallejo, my metallics from Vallejo, and I've got a few airbrush dedicated paints for just the convenience of popping them in the airbrush. People saying that I need to diversify my choice of paints, but at the end of the day, I'm kind of like, I spend 3 months out of the year semi-crippled, and I don't see any point in splashing out on acrylics that I'm just not going to get anything out of. That's it really. I don't want to cover the room up too much because it's interesting, it's got bare brick, it's nice architecture, it's just interesting to look at as is. I know there's a lot of new faces here from that retrospective video that I did, and the next video is going to be a little bit more original MS paints, but we're definitely going to go down that retro dead board game route, so stay tuned for some Inquisitor. Cheers, I'm out of here.
Oh yeah, you're going for hours. Absolutely hours about the difference between ivory and plastic piano keys. Like, who made you, who died and made you the authority on piano keys? Who even cares? This is the same guy that used to pick a fight with a pigeon in Central Park over a game of chess. How'd you even play a game of chess with a pigeon? Who's even keeping track of this? Anyway, so he says to him, look, if you want your gold-plated Neil Armstrong piano keys made with real moon rock, you gotta come to me. That's the only way you're gonna get that done. Anyway, what are you doing?